The Tigers stay hot, baby. That is 4 straight wins for the Cats after a beautiful ball game against the AL-leading New York Yankees.
You are Locked On Tigers, your daily Detroit Tigers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Tigers. I'm, of course, your host, Scott Bentley. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026. Thank you so much for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Odoo. Great organizations win because operations matter. And that is why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/lockedon. And the Tigers, we're playing like a great organization in this ball game and really have been now since I deemed the season like an almost insurmountable hole to dig out of on Friday. They have not lost a game. So you are all very welcome for that. A 5-3 win for the Motor City Kitties. 5-3. They're now 34-44 on the season as the Yankees fall to 46-31. Still just an absolutely remarkable season for the Bronx Bombers. First thought is truly a great win. I hope it is clear I do not say that lightly. I've been very critical of this team this season. This was a fantastic victory for Detroit. That's 4 in a row, and they are back now to having one of the better records in all of baseball in the month of June, right? They started off really hot in June. Then they lost a lot to Cleveland in the series after, and now they're kind of back on the horse and winning a lot of games and trending in the right direction again. Beautiful offensive display. 5 runs, you're not going to look at it and go, wow, they dominated offensively. But the Yankees defense single-handedly saved 2, maybe even 3 runs. So tip of the cap, but also good at-bats continued to happen. And then on top of that, I think part of the reason why I was so pleased with this outing offensively from a lineup perspective was there was clutch hitting top to bottom. You had, and I don't even know what their final average with RISP was in this game, because I know they were 2 for 7 at one point, even after scoring a handful of runs. But it's situational, right? They had productive outs that drove in runs. That'll go for a not a hit, right? McGonigle's ground out, that is 0 for 1 with RISP, but with an RBI. Then they had multiple 2-out RBI hits. That was beautiful. And they knocked Gerrit Cole, one of the best pitchers of this generation, out of the game just 4 1/3 innings into the ball game. And then on the flip side, Fromber Valdez was locked in after the second inning, man. We'll talk about him in a second, but you're now 10 under 500, and we'll take it. Right now, as I record this, they're 4.5 games out of the wild card. And that is mind-boggling considering how disastrous a third of the season has been up to this point, right? The month of May in its entirety was a complete and utter disaster. They aren't going to sell if they are even in the hunt. They are not going to punt on Tarek Skubal's years of control if they have a chance of making a run and getting into the postseason. So 10 games under, I would not say that is in the hunt still, despite the fact that the American League stinks. But they need to continue doing this, and they what they can do is get back to being in the hunt by the time the deadline rolls around. That is very much still on the table, despite my pessimism over the last few weeks, and I think understandably so, given how the month of May went. They're playing really good ball lately, and I think that is absolutely wonderful to see. What went right? I do want to start with Fromber Valdez, despite how fond I was of the offense in this game. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. His ERA is now 3.91 on the season, and his ERA in June is under 2.5. In his last 2 outings, his last 2 starts, he has only allowed 1 total earned run. And this outing was sensational. And my favorite part was that early on, it wasn't sensational. That's my favorite part about it, right? And I talk about mid-game adjustments all the time because I think this team really over the last, just like, I don't know, decade has been really bad at them. And the first half of that decade was just because the team sucked, period, in all situations. But even like the competitive years over the last 5 seasons, like it just feels like they are, if their game plan is on and they are on top of it early, that maintains. And if they get punched in the mouth early, they really struggle. And I feel as though, and obviously like the second half of 2024 is an exception to that, but I very generalized statement. But my point is, when you are a pitcher on the mound, the loneliest place on earth, pitcher's mound in a major league ballpark, and you are kind of struggling with your command those first 2 innings. He wasn't, giving up home runs left and right, and it wasn't a complete disaster, but like 2-out walks, very frustrating, had multiple of those. He allows the base runner. They get a 2-out rally there in the second inning, and then what? He doesn't allow a walk the rest of the game. He has one of his highest strikeout totals on the season, and he's consistently pounding the zone, and he's consistently getting swings and misses, which I have been begging for to see out of him pretty much all season. 13 whiffs in the outing, 12 just between the sinker and curveball alone. Those 2 pitches by themselves, 12 whiffs for Fromber in this game. And so, now he has a sub-4 ERA on the season. He's been a lot better in June than he was in May, like a lot of guys can say on this team. I think in this outing specifically, the sinker is obviously a huge weapon, and I love it, and it's great. The curveball is awesome. And I think a lot of people see him throw that curveball up in the zone, and they think, wow, he missed his spot and got lucky. That's not the case with all of them. Some of them, but not all of them, right? His curveball, it has so much break to it. It's such a big, loopy pitch that early in the game, you'll see him bury that in the dirt and try to get people to chase. If they're chasing, then we're just going to keep throwing it in the dirt. Eventually, though, most major league lineups will make an adjustment and stop chasing. So then he starts going backdoor to righties, especially as one of his favorite pitches, backdoor curveballs to righties, where it will intentionally be in the zone and kind of like thigh high even in the zone. But it'll start off as a ball out of the zone. They'll read curveball and go, well, that's going to bounce on home plate like all the other ones. And then it's a called strike. In this game, he had both. He had a ton of called strikes. He had a ton of swinging miss strikes with it. It was absolutely a masterclass performance, and hopefully he can continue this pace. This is the Fromber that we paid. This is the Fromber Valdez that has been one of the best pitchers in the American League over the last 4 years. Like, that is peak Fromber Valdez, keeping the ball on the ground, pounding the strike zone, and still able to get some swing and miss. Now let's talk about the offense. We'll do that right after this. First, though, I'm going to talk to you about our good friends over at 5 Hour Energy. If you've got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find a perfect treat without all of the sugar. That's why cotton candy 5 Hour Energy shots bring that nostalgic flavor back in a whole new way. This is the classic cotton candy taste you remember, but with tasty caffeine boost and 0 sugar. It's a quick, easy way to satisfy that sweet craving while keeping things simple and on the go. I've always loved cotton candy, but obviously you can't be eating cotton candy all day, every day, right? That would be not healthy for anyone, even the biggest of cotton candy fans. This has that flavor that brings back that fruity vanilla vibe with a surprisingly smooth taste, and you can afford to have it whenever you need throughout the day, right? It has become my go-to when I want something sweet without going overboard. So bring on the sweetness with cotton candy 5 Hour Energy shots, available online now at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Also got to talk to you all about our friends over at Hims. ED is way more common than most guys think, and millions of men deal with it at some point. Hims offers a simple, convenient way to take care of your health by connecting you with a licensed healthcare provider online and giving you access to a personalized treatment option from the comfort of your own home. No awkward appointments, no pharmacy lines, just a straightforward process designed to make getting care easier. So taking care of yourself, it can feel complicated. Hims make the process private and easy to navigate. It's healthcare built around your schedule and your comfort. There's so many great features that Hims has to offer. Simple online access, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more. Visit hims.com/LockedOnMLB. That's hims.com/LockedOnMLB for your free online visit. hims.com/LockedOnMLB. Prescription required. See website for details and important safety information. Sildenafil is a generic version of Viagra. Viagra is a registered trademark of Viatris Specialty LLC. Hims is not affiliated with or endorsed by Viatris. All right, everybody, welcome back here. Segment 2, Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, making us your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day. And we will, of course, be back tomorrow. Well, we're going to talk about a lot tomorrow. We'll talk about the ball game. I also do want to have at some point this week, we ended up having more than I thought to talk about with the All-Star and Flaherty and everything. But in stuff, tomorrow or Wednesday, I do want to, tomorrow is Wednesday for you, tomorrow or Thursday, I do want to discuss just the Scooble market, the outlook, and if the team keeps winning, that conversation is going to get a lot tighter and tighter and a lot more aggressive and dramatic. So if you want to take your listenership to the next level in the meantime, you can check out lockedonpodcast.com/everydayer, where you will get ad-free audio of this show, as well as access to a group chat with myself and other everydayers involved. Be sure to check that out today. You get a 7-day free trial if you sign up now at lockedonpodcast.com/everydayer. The Detroit Tigers win 5-3 on Monday night. We haven't even really talked about the offense. I guess I kind of did at the top of the show, but I want to get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty here. Gerrit Cole goes 4 1/3, 9 hits, 5 earned runs. I'll be honest, I was kind of worried early. The first 2 innings, I guess on both sides. Like, what a massive pivot. Fromber struggles the first 2 innings. Gerrit Cole is dicing the Tigers in the first 2 innings, mind you. Already gets like 6 or 7 swing and miss in the first 2 innings alone. And like, that is something that he struggled with. And that would match like outings that he's had this season outside of the Big Ten strikeout outing he had, obviously, like we said yesterday. The team made an in-game adjustment and got a little bit more aggressive early in counts, and it worked wonderfully. And I cannot stress enough how important it is for when this team gets runners on base with 2 outs to actually finish the job and drive them home. So many times, May was the worst, but like so many times really over the season, they will be getting diced by an opponent, and then they'll get, end the game with 7, 8 base runners, but almost all of them were with 2 outs, and then they couldn't string together 2 or 3 in a row, and then the inning would end. In this game, twice, they got base runners and were advancing base runners with 2 outs and had, what inning was that? The third, I think, third or fourth, where they were driving runners in with 2 outs, despite having nobody on with 2 outs before the rally started. Beautiful stuff. And as far as Cole goes, like, it was a command issue. His fastball's still at 98 with his age and coming off of Tommy John. The stuff still moves wonderfully. But you look at the command, go look at where the Tigers were hitting pitches. Fastballs over the heart of the plate, to Torkelson especially, to Green, and I guess like McGonigle had a couple of force-fed fastballs as well. He left a slider up in the zone that the Tigers were able to do damage on. Colt Keith, fastball over the heart of the plate. Like, he just couldn't hit his spots. And it's Gerrit Cole. I'm sure he will. And this, like I said, the stuff is still great. But the Tigers took advantage. And that is not I'm not trying to be like, oh, well, that they only, had a good offensive performance because they hit bad pitches. No, that's your job. That is your job. That is not a knock against the Tigers. If anything, it's a positive. Your job is literally to take advantage of bad pitches. I hate to break it to you. If pitchers could exactly pinpoint every pitch type to where they wanted it to be, every single pitch, there would be next to no offense, okay? It would be more of an impossible thing to do to hit a baseball than it even already is. And so it was so beautiful just to see them take advantage of mistakes. They have failed at doing that so often this year. So that was beautiful to see. Torkelson, if we want to get into specific players, I thought had some great at-bats against Gerrit Cole. Went 2 for 2 with a catcher's interference against Cole. Ended 2 for 3 with a catcher's interference in the game. Gerrit Cole kept trying to beat him with fastballs, and it didn't work. The second one, I believe. Actually, the double. We can just talk about that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is a fastball, hard of the plate, but still kind of up in the zone. Torkelson speeds up the hands. They go through the zone lightning fast, incredibly high bat speed. He also tucks the hands inside because it's a little bit on the inner half of the plate. Absolute thing of beauty. McGonigle, 2 for 5 with 2 RBI. And again, like one of the RBI in this game came from a ground out. And like this team, again, one of the things that's been a big complaint of mine is they don't have productive outs. In this game, they did. And he still ended with 2 knocks outside of that in this ball game, and another RBI outside of that play. Anytime like that just, I thought it was ridiculous the Yankees didn't bring the infield in. And I know it was early in the ball game and whatnot. You want to make sure you get one out. McGonigle has more walks than strikeouts on the year. He is going to put the ball in play. I think that was very mismanaged by Boone, but to the benefit of the Tigers, we will take it. And Kevin McGonigle is incredible. Riley Green, 1 for 2 with a home run and 2 walks. He slowed down a little bit over the last couple, not even, like the last week and a half. His numbers have slowed down a little. He still has an OPS like over 700 in that time frame, but compared to his season stats, he took a little bit of a step back. So it was nice to see him, showcase some power, right? That is a hanging curveball that he did damage on. Beautiful. And still able to drop multiple walks while maintaining the power and not having both of those things be traded for strikeouts returning. Beautiful ball game from Riley Green. And McKinstry, the triple, that was an awful route. Who was that in left field when that happened? Was that Dominguez? I forget who was even playing left. Rosario, maybe. Regardless, horrible route. He had no business getting a triple on that, but we will gladly, again, take it. And then the last point I want to make is just that I love how you lead. 1 for 4 with a strikeout and a run scored. I'm not sure he's a long Major League Baseball player. I'm not sure he's going to be able to be productive enough at this level for long enough to have a 10-plus year Major League career. But I love the brand of baseball he plays, man. It is just gritty. He is a huge, just hustle-first type of guy. You saw the emotion. It was overturned. He got called out. He's hustling every play. You look at how hard he rounds third base on his run scored. He's a dog. He gets the title of dog, as I do a lot, more so on Locked On Red Wings, I guess. But I love watching him play, and I really do root for him and his success. Obviously, when he's a Tiger, but just period in his career. And I hope that he can be a productive major leaguer for a long time because he's a really fun player to watch when he's clicking. Lastly, Will Vest. I might cry on this camera right now, as you are all my witness. I might start crying. 1 1/3 innings, perfect ball, 2 strikeouts. ERA is still 5.61 even after this. That was prime Will Vest, and oh, how I have missed you. The last call of the game was awful, and I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, the Yankees got 3 challenges wrong. They got a 3rd challenge in this game, and they got 3 ABS challenges wrong in this game. So, I'm not going to complain about the zone expanding a little bit there at the end. But the velo in this outing was up a whole mile an hour over his season averages. A whole mile an hour. That is beautiful. And I am welcome back, Will Vest, and I hope he is here to stay. What went wrong? Not a whole lot. We'll talk about that and stuff before we preview game 2 right after this. First, though, got to talk to you all about our good friends over at Odoo. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never really designed to work together, right? You have one app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform, from sales to accounting to inventory and marketing. Everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focus on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone work towards that same goal. And that's true in sports, just like it is in business. One thing that really stands out is how, I mean, you talk about like the 2024 Tigers, the 2025 Tigers, and then, over the last week, maybe the 2026 Tigers, everyone pulling in the same direction. And you can see it, right? You can tell very early on, most times, if it's going to be a good or a bad game based on the buy-in from everyone. We see that a lot in the World Cup as well. It isn't just one great player or great coach. It's a coordinated effort across an entire organization to make it successful. So great organizations win because operations matter. And that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/lockedon. All right, everybody, welcome back. Your third and final segment of Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's talk really quickly about what went wrong. Not a whole lot. I thought this was a really well-played ball game, and I thought the Tigers were the better team for, honestly, like 7 innings. Again, those first 2 on both sides had me nervous, but a really great recovery and a great ball game it ended up being. I guess James Outman at the plate, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Did have a walk there in the 8th inning, obviously, but his value is very obviously in the field, and I quite literally expect nothing from him at the plate. Not to be like overly dramatic or harsh, but he really is a walking strikeout, and there's a reason why he was DFA'd by the Minnesota Twins before the Tigers got their hands on him. The only thing that really bothered me about it, and it's not like Outman directly, it's more of like the situation. I cannot stand that Kerry Carpenter got pinch hit for Vierling and Outman got to face a lefty in the 8th. That drives me absolutely nuts. I understand Outman's a plus defender, and he's a better center fielder than Matt Vierling is. I completely understand the Tigers have a lead. You're trying to hold on to it, etc. But he's not so much better than Matt Vierling defensively, where Vierling needs to pinch hit for Kerry Carpenter for 1 at-bat instead of giving Carp another at-bat, and then you can pinch hit Vierling for Outman and have a righty-lefty later in the ball game. And butterfly effect and ripple effect, right? Who knows if it would have been managed the same way, but that just drove me absolutely up a wall. I adamantly disagree with that. Drew Anderson, I guess, I get this is more of like a technicality. I didn't even want to put him in here, but I feel like I would have got yelled at if I didn't. 1 1/3, 2 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, a home run against. His ERA is now 4.04 on the season. I really didn't hate the outing. His changeup was incredible, dude. That is legit. I don't want to be overly dramatic or hyperbolic, but like that was an absolutely lethal changeup, and he hung one of them. And like he gave up the home run. It happens. It was 2 runs in a 9-inning game, and it thankfully didn't cost him. And he had a great recovery as well. He got the next man out, no problem, very quickly. So, he made 1 bad pitch. That sucks, obviously, right? We don't want him to make bad pitches, especially ones that are able to go over the wall. But he still has so much swing and miss in his arm. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Drew Summers is not a part of this. I'm just kind of going through the bullpen at this point. His outing doesn't bother me literally at all. It was a high chopper that it was an infield single, and then a ball that literally bounced off him. Like whatever. Like I have no issue with his outing whatsoever. I hope he's okay, by the way. And the last thing I have in what went wrong is actually a Yankee thing, and it was ABS challenges. They went 0 for 2. They technically went 0 for 2, but they literally got one wrong and then got it back because it ended up being catcher's interference, which I guess then transitions us into stuff. What a weird game. We had the catcher's interference. Then we had where like the Yankees get an ABS, which they should have gotten the ABS challenge back. I'm not saying that's stupid, just like, not something you see every day. And then we had the dirt camera delay. We stopped play for like 5+ minutes because I don't even know. Like, I guess the dirt camera was what? It was rogue. It was like sticking too far out of the ground. And so they had to get the grounds crew out there and add dirt so that it wasn't as perfect. That was a very odd endeavor. Just kind of a weird game. Thankfully, the Tigers won it. Jack Flaherty also will start his rehab process this week. It sounds like he will make a rehab start in Double-A, which makes me think that he's probably not too far. And like we knew it was kind of a precautionary thing to put him on the IL as is. The Tigers have pitching depth. Now, who leaves the rotation? We'll have that conversation again, as we've already had to have, as the week goes along and once we see how his rehab start goes. But he looks to be closer to getting back than, going on the IL. All-Star game update. Dylan Dingler is third. Really stupid. Kevin McGonigle's third. Fine. Riley Green plummets from like third or fourth to ninth in outfield voting. Now, part of that is Riley Green has not been as good since the last update. Another part of all of this is that the country of Canada has made it their mission to put every single Blue Jay in the All-Star game. This is giving like 2015, 2016 Royals. What year was that? Was that 2014 even? When like the entire infield plus it was literally Mike Trout, Jose Altuve, and then the Kansas City Royals. Whatever year that was. It's really giving that to me. Like they Ernie Clement like leads all vote getters in the American League or something ridiculous. And like fine player. Like I'm not trying to diss the player or even say, but it's getting ridiculous. Alejandro Kirk is like, we're talking like, if Dylan Dingler was right behind him, I'd be like, oh, okay, like cooler heads will prevail and the fans will have him pet. Canada has put Alejandro Kirk, who's not having even remotely near the season that Dylan Dingler is having. I'm talking like 400,000 votes ahead of him. It's like not even close, dude. It's preposterous. So keep voting for Dylan Dingler. Like the McGonigle, if he doesn't make it as a rookie, like I think he should. He's having a fantastic season. I'm not going to be utterly disappointed. Riley Green, outfield for the American League is always loaded. It's hard. I would love for him to make it again. But like if Dingler doesn't make it, it is a disservice to baseball. And the system should literally change because of it. Okay, preview. Let's make a run, man. Let's why not? Why not? Make May a 1-month outlier and go make history again. Go on a run. Go get yourself back into contention. Be that team that, people are like, wow, from, May 30th or like from June 1st on, like they've been the best team in baseball. And look, they like go just do it. The American League stinks. So the path is there. The Central stinks. So the path, like, why not? Why not? I really hope they do, man. I need this to not be a lost season so badly because I don't know if we're going to play baseball next year. And I need so badly for them to not just be a 20-game, 15-game under 500 team that sells everything at the deadline and we just go into a potential year-long lockout being completely irrelevant and playing meaningless baseball the last 2 months of the season. So badly, I need them to be good. And I hope that this is an upward trend going forward. That train hopefully continues tonight as Carlos Rodón faces Casey Mize in game 2 of this series. Rodón is now 33 years old. He is still a left-handed pitcher. He has a 3.5 ERA, but only in 7 starts. He missed the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season for the Yankees. But yeah, I mean, he's a really solid pitcher. He's a really solid top half of the rotation arm and has been most of his career. He's good for 7-ish strikeouts pretty much every start. He throws 95 from the left side. That's, a tall ask for any hitter. For lefties, he's always been a tough out, fastball, slider. And then for righties, his fastball actually gets more swing and miss against righties than lefties. And he still throws the slider also to righties. Now, that does mean that he has had a propensity. Wow, I can't talk. He has had moments in his career where he has given up a lot of hard contact and home runs to right-handed hitters at times because he is not afraid to throw the slider to righties or lefties. There's a changeup to righties as well. But really good stuff, really good arm, and is having a fine season. The one Achilles heel for him this year has been walks. He has walked a lot of batters, which is kind of off-brand for him. He's had been kind of inconsistent with that over the years, but he's walked a lot this year. And June has been better than May in that regard for him. But in his 3 June outings, he still has 2 of those 3 where he has walked 3. So, and he's coming off of one where he only walked 1. But really high walk rate this year. Do not do him any favors, right? This is a guy that gets swing and miss at a very high clip. He has very good stuff. You don't need to be expanding the zone along with swinging and missing in the zone, right? Let him get himself into trouble and then get those big hits. From Mize, I mean, you're looking and hoping to have a nice bounce back outing from his second first start back from injury, if you follow that train of thought there. But I'm just glad that he's healthy again for a second start in a row. Need him to stay healthy. Command last time was an issue. The stuff was perfectly fine, but he was leaving fastballs and sliders, honestly, over the heart of the plate a lot. We talked about that after his last start. And then the defense needs to do their part, as we have, become accustomed to saying throughout the year. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day. We will be back tomorrow, hopefully recapping the Tigers' 5th consecutive victory. Peace and love. Going to therapy's dope. I'll catch y'all then, baby. Go Tigers.